So I've had to come out twice before. The first time I came out was when I came out as pansexual, and the second time, more recently, was when I came out as trans. So the thing is, one thing that I've realised that has happened both times is that after you come out, like, to yourself, once you personally accept it, you start to think back at memories and things and the way you thought, and it's just like, whew, everything makes sense. I just find it so funny because these are all things that I kind of didn't think much about at the time, you know? I'm not the kind of trans person who's like, I knew all my life, I knew since I was young, and there are many people like that, and you know, that's completely fair enough. But I'm kind of really big on denial. Like, I mean, I should have really known that I was pansexual for a really long time, and then, you know, one day I was like, yes, I am. But it took me so long to get to that part where I was like, yes, just say yes, stop pushing it away, stop telling everyone that you're like, oh no, I'm like 98% straight, so that 2% is not straight, just to make yourself feel better when you know it's just such a lie, you know? And I'm just so big on denial, and I was like that with being trans too. So a few things that I've realised just looking back after coming out to myself are things like, I used to really love dance. I mean, I still do, but I don't practice it, so you know, I've kind of lost it. But I always got mad because I wanted to be the male dancer, and you know, there was a part of me that obviously knew like I can't be the male dancer because I am not the male, but I had this kind of little conflict in my head going, why can't I be the male dancer, you know? And it was kind of like a childish thing in my head even when I was like 15, 16, but you know, it's just because I didn't understand what that meant to me. And then I was also really into acting. I went to a performing arts school, so I'm into all that performing artsy things, and I was just always mad because I was always given the female roles, and that's not the role I wanted to do. I always wanted to be male, and I was like, oh, if I was an actor, I just want to play all the male parts, and I just, it's so funny that I didn't know what that meant at the time about me. I didn't get what that meant, you know? And then there's things like, I once read this post about, like, imagine if you woke up as the other gender, what would you do? And it's one of those things where, you know, everyone jokingly says, you know, inappropriate things at first and they laugh about it, and then most people just stop thinking about it. But I was hooked up upon that thought for years after I saw that post, like absolute years, wishing that that would happen and thinking to myself, oh my god, I'd actually kind of like to say like that for a while. But then I'd switch back and I'm like, no, I wouldn't switch back. And then I just thought into the logistics of everything, but I didn't understand. I really didn't understand at the time what I was actually thinking in my head. Like, I just didn't make the two links. So another thing I find really funny to look back on is that I never really wore makeup, and whenever I did, you know, whenever I agreed to wear it for certain events or something, forced by my family, whatever, or whenever I just let friends do it for fun on me, I always felt in drag. And, you know, it's kind of obvious what that means, but it's another thing that I just kind of pushed aside, and I was like, just don't like makeup, you know, and it's okay not to like makeup, and you can still ID as female, and, you know. I guess most of it was just the fact that I didn't have the right terminology, you know. As soon as I discovered a few transgender YouTubers and stuff, I started to watch them a lot and started to get hooked, and then it got to a point where I started to associate what I was watching and understanding with myself, and that's when I started to admit things to myself. But it was a really, really difficult and painful process, and it can be for a lot of people, because it's not an easy thing to accept that you've not been living the way you've truly wanted to for a while, and that you've not understood so many things that are just so deeply rooted in your identity. So if you're someone who still hasn't got it figured out, then don't worry. I've waited like about 19 years of my life to truly fully understand and kind of accept to myself who I am, because even once I kind of figured it out, I was just pushing it aside. And at first I labelled myself as gender fluid because I don't know, I felt like that was the right one, but it wasn't, you know. And then I slowly transitioned from that to the point at which I'm at now, and then now I'm a lot happier with that. I mean, I'm also a lot more crap because for some reason my dysphoria intensified as soon as I realised that I am trans, but aside from that, I am happier that I actually understand myself, finally. So yeah, it's all kind of a journey, and it can be tough, but you will get there ultimately, you really will. If you like this video, then please like, and if you want to watch more of my videos, then please do subscribe. I've got some new videos coming up very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys next time.